Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us tonight. I'm Yemi Adeba. Well, it's the aftermath of the confirmation of the 2030 and 2034 FIFA World Cup host. We'll be talking about all of that for you on the show. The joint bid of Morocco, Portugal, and Spain winning for the 2030 edition, and Saudi Arabia, in spite of the noise, in spite of the issues, of course, being named as the host of the 2034 World Cup. Of course, as we speak, in the Europa League. And then, of course, the big one tonight that would happen any moment from now, the final shortlist for the men and the women's CAF Player of the Year. It's going to be whittled down to 3. And, of course, we'll do our best to let you in when that happens. We will also look at the aftermath of the UEFA Champions League. And, of course, the team on everyone's lips is Manchester City. What is really happening to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City? Is it a blip? A lot of people will say this is more than a blip. All right, that's the outlook of the show tonight. Let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Bolu Amadi joins us now. Bolu, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Good to be again. Picking the words from the late Malcolm X, the chicken has come home to roost. That's what's happening to Manchester City right now. They were so used to beating everybody. Now they are the ones losing and they can't find a solution to it. And I think it's deeper than what we think. It's not a Rodri situation. That was the initial excuse. It's not a De Bruyne injury thing. It's not an excuse anymore. They are losing and losing and losing. Pep Guardiola, 10 games, just 1 win. It's unheard of. And I'm excited for what's happening with the FIFA World Cup. I know Europeans are angry, looking for different excuses to downplay Saudi Arabia, but I'm excited that it's a World Cup. Let it go all around. And UEFA Champions League, always a showpiece. Europa League United, they found a way to scrape out to the win. But in football, a win is always a win.
All right. So let's start with the FIFA World Cup and talk about it. Let me ask Bolu, as we begin to go into it, Morocco, Spain, and Portugal winning for the 2030. It's a unique World Cup. I mean, it's going to be played across continents. There's the Uruguay, Argentina, and one other country will be hosting 3. Paraguay, the centenary edition, first 3 matches. Then the rest goes to Morocco, Spain, and Portugal. First, I want to ask you if you're surprised. Some of these bids were probably, in the case of Saudi Arabia, there was no other country. This one, it was the worst kept secret. It looked like they've arranged everything. And I mean, no dissenting voice votes. And it was reminiscent of what happened before 2010. And this kind of, environment cost Sepp Blatter his job. I don't know if it's going to happen to Gianni Infantino, but it's not always easy to make people speak with one voice. They were able to do that. Everybody, no dissenting voice, all applauses, voice votes, and they got the job done.
Well, okay, let me start with the 2030 World Cup. Initially, Saudi Arabia wanted 2030, and they had to move to 34. And sometimes I don't understand the too much complexity. It just feels like both UEFA and FIFA are doing everything they were against in terms of the Super League, too many games. And although I don't complain that we have too many games, you're a footballer, you earn a whole lot of money. If you are playing for an elite team, you should play more games. It's as simple as that. But for the World Cup, I understand 3 nations, even though coming across from Europe to Africa, they are close, but they're still going to fly. I don't think you send the players to go by boat. So they are going to fly during the tournament from Spain to Morocco. Then this centenary, you can do your celebration wherever. You don't have to go to. So it means I'll play my opening game in Argentina, then fly from South America and come to Europe to play. Or I'll play in Paraguay, or play in Uruguay. The excuse or the reason was, okay, Uruguay were the host of the first World Cup and they were the champions. They played Argentina in the final. Who lost? Argentina are playing. Same thing with Paraguay, which is the headquarters for the CONMEBOL. Those things I don't think are necessary. 3 nations are already hosting the World Cup. That's enough travel for every nation or country going there. Then adding 3 more. Yes, they're playing just 1 game at those venues. Oh, why not play Brazil? So Brazil were at the first World Cup too. Why not play everyone that played the opening match at home? So I said to myself, what if let's assume Brazil won the opening match? So they would have played 4 other countries. Those things are not necessary. Celebrate the 100 years of the World Cup and move on. But that's what they are doing, and there's nothing about it. At least I'm just, to an extent, a bit happy for Morocco. Morocco have been chasing this World Cup even before South Africa. But they didn't get a solo hosting right, but at least they got a joint bid. People are saying they'll play the least amount. It doesn't matter. They're hosting the World Cup. But for Saudi Arabia, I think I'm really excited. Why? Because the Europeans have a way of making it look like it's all about them alone. The European people have given excuse of, the timing won't favor people, human rights. I said Russia hosted the World Cup. They are still fighting against Ukraine. Has anybody done anything? No. In fact, Russia hosted one of the best World Cup we ever saw. Nobody said anything about it. In terms of timing, the timing they play in Europe pays only Africa. It doesn't pay Asians. It doesn't pay North or South Americans. Nobody complains. We follow this event. So it's a World Cup, not a UEFA Cup or South American Cup. So this is what we have. I knew immediately Qatar hosted and succeeded with the World Cup. Others will step up. Now Saudi Arabia, who are bringing everybody to their country, they've stepped up. So let us enjoy the World Cup.
And they've hosted major sporting events. Well, of course, you already know it's a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Okon-Akpan, is ready. I'm laughing here. Maybe when Austin gets in, I'll ask him the question later on. But Austin, good to have you beat the odds to join us on the show. And it's always good to take this ride together with you.
It's pretty greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Always an action-packed world of sports. And when we're not talking about the action on the pitch, we're talking about the politics, the administration, and all of the other shenanigans that happens in the background. Hosting the World Cup is a big deal. And I think with what Qatar did, it was such an eye-opener to a lot of countries, and countries are looking at it and saying, okay, if we cannot just go solo, we can find a way, to collaborate, to come together and, achieve some level of regional development. And I think that's what we're seeing with the Spain, Portugal, and Morocco bid, and those other countries that are coming together. Don't forget the next World Cup that is going to happen in 2026. We're going to be, Bolu will be going to Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America. So this man and his team, Gianni Infantino and his team, they are just saying to themselves, tell us how you're going to make it work. And then when you tell them, they now look at their revenue base and say, okay, if we put XYZ, are we going to get ABC? And once it clicks for FIFA, off they go, because football is big business and this is the World Cup. So it is what it is. Let's listen to Gianni Infantino. It's all about the host for the 2030 and 2034 FIFA World Cups.
Dear friends, today is really a historic day, a day of celebration. I have to thank you and congratulate you all because you make football truly global. In a divided world, you have shown unity. You have shown that we are all part of one global community. We are not all equal. We know that. But we are learning to accept each other with our differences as part of this one global community. And we respect each other. There are many things in our imperfect world that could be done better, that should be done better, in every country. And there are many lessons to learn and ways to improve. But we are inclusive, and we are non-discriminatory. And we want to obtain positive social impact. We are, of course, aware of critics and fears. And I fully trust our hosts to address all open points from this process and deliver a FIFA World Cup that meets the world's expectations. That is exactly why we went through this bidding procedure and why we have a transparency that will shape real and lasting change. This is what we expect and what we look forward to. Social improvements, positive human rights impacts, That is one of the responsibilities of hosting a World Cup. And the world will, of course, be watching, and it is also positive that the unique spotlights of an event like the FIFA World Cup are on what can and should improve, so that this can be addressed effectively and we can have a real lasting change. The FIFA World Cup is unique, and it is a unique catalyst as well for positive social change.
I agree with him. The FIFA World Cup is unique, and he has said it all. Bolu, he said that he expects those that have, won the bids to give us a world-class World Cup, something that is global. I think what we need to accept here, me and Bolu, is the world is getting smaller. And each time I look at the business aspect of sports, it's so massive. For instance, the NBA is for the United States of America, but they will tell you that one special week they will be in Canada. Another special week they will be in London. They are also looking at the Asian market, but it's still the NBA. So with the centenary games, Bolu, that will take place in South Africa, trust me, FIFA, they've looked into the projections, and it's going to be more win and extra wins for FIFA and everybody that will be involved with that 2030 FIFA World Cup, Bolu.
For FIFA, it's a win-win for them no matter which angle you look at it. The South American thing, for example, no matter how many fans go from South America, all of them cannot go. The 3 games are hosted in South America, lots and lots of fans will play. So in terms of the money, just forget about money. Both FIFA and everyone is making lots of money from all those. And the event, it says something, it's a global showpiece. That's one thing some of the Europeans need to understand. As much as we, based on our time zone, favors the Europeans, it's still a global showpiece. Everyone needs to bite their own piece of the pie and move on and enjoy the event. What Infantino is doing now is everybody just speak left, right, center. Everybody get involved. No matter how much you criticize it, you still have to give him for that. I have problems with the expansion and everything, but it's the beauty of the game. It means they're adding more nations. More nations will play qualifiers. More nations, the more nations that play qualifiers, the more money in one way or the other. The branding is huge. We saw how much people criticized Russia for the World Cup. We saw what Russia gave to us. Even we that saw from home, we could see the excitement. Imagine those that went there, the testimonies they gave afterwards. I know lots of things that were said about Qatar. The country was too hot. They wouldn't enjoy the tournament. Everybody went there and had fun. They built new stadiums, new designs. Now Saudi Arabia are telling us, don't worry, we will build a city for the World Cup. We will build a stadium and floats. These are the kind of excitement only the World Cup can be. And also you said something about the NBA moving here and there. Everyone needs to understand that no matter how small you think your event is, if it's sports, if you sell your market well, people all over the world will love it. And that's exactly what football and many other sports are doing for us.
Yeah, exactly. So still a lot of reactions talking about the decision to award the rights to the countries that will host the 2030-2024. Let's listen to the CAF president, Patrice Motsepe. His immediate reaction, of course, after knowing that Morocco, involved in the joint bid, will be hosting the 2030 World Cup.
Well, it's a great honor, but it's also a historic day for Africa. And that's why we're very happy and very excited that Morocco will be hosting the FIFA World Cup 2030. It's something that we're very proud of. And on behalf of the 54 member associations that are part of CAF, we would like to express our deep gratitude to King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, the people of Morocco, the government of Morocco.
All right, so of course, Patrice Motsepe, of course, very happy and of course offering congratulations to Morocco. But Bolu, there's something we need to quickly talk about before we look at the angle of the Saudi Arabians. It is clear, not just football now, most global sporting events, that the cost of hosting these major events is huge. And that's why you're seeing joint bids, you're even seeing countries pulling out. And somehow, I don't know, maybe I'll just say this jokingly, some countries, those oil-rich Arab countries, don't seem to have some of the problems the Europeans, Africans, and they are probably the ones currently who could single-handedly host major events. And for those who are crying about Saudi Arabia, they've hosted major sporting events, so it's not an issue. And that's why maybe the human rights angle is being played up. But again, you can also remember Russia too has, South Africa, even when they wanted to host, all of those issues will continue to come up. But quickly, before we listen to the sports minister from Saudi Arabia, your thoughts on Saudi Arabia, how they were able to ensure, it looks to me like there was a backroom agreement, they were the sole bidders. And so that wasn't any surprise to anybody that they were going to be announced.
I listened to an interview a few years ago about Qatar, and Dubai. And someone asked them that, is it money that made your country? Like, they said, no, it is vision. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. I remember when they started this football import thing, people said it won't last for. They said their plan was not for them to bring it for years. No, that they have a plan after 1 or 2 years, we reduce it a bit. The essence is, if a Ronaldo, for example, is in my country, young boys who I want to be like Ronaldo can be inspired to play. They have a mapped out plan. I read how much they budgeted for sports for about 5 years, over $20 trillion pounds. That is vision. They know what they are chasing. They know what, like you rightly said, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, they've literally hosted about 90% of every boxing event. Riyadh is the host for any. That's why we are still going for the fight come next week. Usyk and Fury. Tyson Fury's second fight. So everything goes there. They now have a racetrack for Formula One. It's there. Their football now is growing thanks to the superstars they are bringing. It's Saudi Arabia. So I knew it was coming sooner or later. I thought they would get 2030. Immediately they say, oh, they stepped down for those 3 nations. I had it coming that it was getting
an arrangement. Yeah.
Then when nobody needed again, everyone stepped out. England want to host the World Cup. Those guys suddenly stepped out. The Great British guy, Britain, England, Scotland, they just decided to step out. Something was going on. It means they would have told, look at what they said. We will build a city. We hear about Games Village for World Cup. We hear about Games Village for Olympics. But this one, they want to build a city solely for the event. No. You can't hear things like that and not be excited for them. I understand the concerns, but the truth is, the same people tell us don't mix politics and football. So let the World Cup stand alone and don't blend it with any other thing.
All right. So for once, I think the sporting world should, of course, listen to some of the things we say when it comes to sports by not mixing it with politics. But then again, they've made promises. Those who have fears, the people of Saudi Arabia and the guys organizing this saying, look, you have nothing to worry about. Let's quickly listen to Prince Abdulaziz bin Al Faisal talking about Saudi Arabia and what the sporting world should expect.
The demonstration of what happened in Qatar delivered as the best World Cup so far. I think the matches were excellent, people were happy, and the teams were well prepared. So I don't think that will be an issue. Definitely we can host anytime because, as you know, Saudi is very diverse and there's a lot of locations and so on in terms of climate, and we already host a lot of events throughout the year. So we're prepared for that. Whatever the football community decides on, we're going to be ready for that. Well, I think controversy will happen in anything you do, and I think that we've learned a lot from their experience, especially in the region, and what they've done. We've been there, we've seen their preparation, so I think we have a good insight on what needs to be done properly from now till 34. I don't think they had that in the past, which is something that will benefit us a lot, and we can assure everyone that we're going to work with all the FIFA member association, with FIFA itself closely to make sure that the Saudi Football Federation delivers on their expectations. In the country, we're developing sports and we're developing everything for the youth and for a greater future for the kingdom. So if we can, deliver on having a greater future for all our kids in the kingdom, I think that will be the legacy that we will love to achieve.
All right, so we've been talking about, of course, the FIFA World Cups to be held in 2030, 2024. No longer news. There's Saudi Arabia, who hosts the 2034 edition, and of course, the joint bid that won Morocco, Spain, and Portugal for 2030. So we need to move on now. We're done talking about this one. But also quickly, let's move on. I don't know if you have anything to say about these things, but the hot potato is the imminent announcement that we're expecting about, of course, the short list that's going to be pruned to 3 for talking about the CAF Awards for the men and the women. And I trust that if you have any updates, you will share with us.
Definitely, I'm also monitoring it, and I see CAF still leaving it at the top 5 for the men, because I've been waiting to see if we cut down to 3, nothing yet. But for the women, we already know that is Sana, Chiamaka Nadozie, and Barbara Banda. So yeah, if there's any updates to that one, I'll let you know. We're waiting to see what the final 3 will be, and there's been loads of talk about Hakimi emerging the African Player of the Year. And I'm saying, come on, what's going on? CAF can't even try. They can't even mess around, because everyone knows what Ademola Lookman has done right from the AFCON till 2 days ago when he played Real Madrid and still emerged the player of the match, a game that had all the top stars in the world. So no contest. But let's just be diplomatic, wait for CAF to do the announcement, and then I'll report it here. But just a quick one before we move ahead. I was just, when you and Bolu were talking, I've been looking at this 2034 announcement that FIFA made for Saudi Arabia to host the World Cup. And I kept saying to myself, who is surprised? Really, who is surprised? In the last 3 years, there is no big sporting personality that has not been to Saudi Arabia for sports. Let's just do a quick one. Just go to a quick one, and AI will just help you, Saudi Arabia has hosted many sporting events, including Formula One races, the Italian and Spanish Super Cups. I'll repeat it again. The Italian and Spanish Super Cups, the Club World Cup. They have hosted the King Salman Tennis Championship, the biggest one, a unified heavyweight championship pre-match between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz and Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. The entire world assembled in Saudi Arabia. What about their investment in sports? They have put investment into the Professional Golf Association, that one close to $1 billion. World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE that everyone is enjoying, is Saudi money that is running it now. They have put money in Newcastle, 4 Saudi Pro League clubs, and a record-breaking salary for Cristiano Ronaldo with Al Nassr. What are we talking about? They have the Vision 2030 goal where they will put all of this investment into sports and start reaping the value. And guess what? That was why they were chasing 2034. And now they have it. If you fail to plan, you have planned to fail. These people, they have planned. They have seen what Qatar did. And they mentioned it. They are not shy. That if Qatar could do what they did in 2022 with the World Cup, they can do 100%. So congratulations to Saudi Arabia. Football is global. So if FIFA wants to take it to the moon and they make us know that it will be all right, we go there.
All right. And I think Gianni Infantino needs to tell us how he made everybody speak with one voice. I jokingly told Bolu that everybody has their hand in the pie somehow. United Kingdom is not screaming. The United States is not screaming. Nobody's shouting. It's all good.
Money stops nonsense. money. You can change your name over. The kind of money you're going to have, you change your name because, for instance, one time we could be going to Saudi Arabia. If you look at it proper, everyone was like, oh, that's a no zone for sports. Even their women are getting serious with sports now. Saudi Arabia came to the World Cup, stunned Argentina in the opener. No, look, in our world of sports, impossible is nothing. And then when you now put money into it, possibilities, my brother.
All right. I don't want to go where Austin was taking me, but Bolu, we saw the pictures. Everyone was laughing. I'm very sure conspiracy theorists will let us know some of the, underhand deals that took place. But it's surprising. Voice votes, no dissenting voices. Everybody just clapped. This is what we're going to do. And the announcement went smoothly. And the last time something like this happened, I will keep jokingly referring to it. Sepp Blatter did something like this, awarded 2 World Cups, controversially to two countries, and before you know it, he got into trouble. I'm not sure that would be Yanni's lot, but I agree with Austin. I agree with Austin that, I mean, who should be surprised? But in any case, nobody has said anything. But I'm just saying conspiracy theorists will start letting us know. And I'm very sure, for now, the sleeping dogs, lying, but we'll see what happens.
Conspiracy will always happen. I remember when South Africa got the right, conspiracies that was because of Mandela. It was supposed to be Morocco, not South Africa. Oh, Russia didn't need to get the World Cup. And at that period, Qatar was bribing Sepp Blatter and everything. Sepp Blatter left here, and then someone threw fake money on him at a press conference. At the end of the day, South Africa 2010 went. Russia 2018 went by.
Qatar 2022 went. Although there were casualties.
But they finished the event. By 2038 World Cup, we'll come back and be saying, oh, Gianni Infantino, there were stuff. We would have enjoyed the showpiece. We would have enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just excited that it's going everywhere. Because for years, it's been majorly Europe. Then a huge chunk goes to South America. The rest, we all play at this event. I remember the last one when they were talking about why Qatar. The only confederations that have won the World Cup are Europeans and South America. They play the World Cup alone. It is World Cup, and everyone has the right. If we are ready to host in Nigeria, if you have the fun, if you have what it takes, submit your bid. If you get it, let them complain. But they will still go for the event, despite their complaints.
They don't have a choice. All right, let's move on. We're tempted to continue covering all the angles, but we have to move on. Let's talk about the eagerly anticipated CAF Awards. Eagerly anticipated, especially in these parts, especially the one where you have the best player for the men. Eagerly anticipated, I say. And again, we'd like to let you know that we're monitoring once CAF prunes down the list to 3. We will let you know. But let's talk about the other categories. I'll go across now and quickly reel out those categories, players in those categories. Probably we'll start with the final 3 shortlist for Club of the Year. So I'll just go across now and let's see if we're ready to take that list. Let me just quickly go across and we look at it. Final 3 shortlist for the national team of the year, men. National team of the year, men. You have Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, South Africa. Well, I think I know where that's going to, but I'll keep my mouth shut. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the women national team of the year. Women, Morocco, Nigeria, and South Africa. I think this one will be close. I'll allow Bolu say whatever he wants to say, and I know Bolu's watching. All right, let's look at the other categories. Young Player of the Year for the men, Karim Konate, Omar Diakite, Lamine Kamara are the players in there. 2 players from Cote d'Ivoire, 1 from Senegal. All right. So, Young Player of the Year, women's category, Abiba Sabri, Doha Hel Madani, and Chiamaka Okochiku, the Rivers Angel player. Final 3 shortlist for the women. Let's move on quickly as we can. Club of the Year men, Al Ahly, Zamalek, and Mamelodi Sundowns. All right. So that's for the men. Let's look at the women. This is where my heart and my head don't agree. And you already know why. This is why. TP Mazembe from DR Congo, Asfa of Morocco. Then you have our own Edo Queens. You understand why my heart and my head don't agree on this one. All right. So let's move on. Goalkeeper of the year. This will make us argue. I'm very sure when we get to that point. Andre Onana, Cameroon, Manchester United. You are here for Fana, Cote d'Ivoire, and of course his club Angers. Rowan Williams, the South African goalkeeper, who was incidentally also in the major awards, in the top 10 for the major awards. That's the goalkeeper of the year, men. Goalkeeper of the year, women. Khadija El Rinchi of Morocco, Chama Kanadozie, the Super Falcons goalkeeper. She also plays for Paris FC. Andili Dlamini of South Africa also in the mix for the award for the goalkeeper of the year, women. Interclub player of the year, men. Ahmed Sayed of Zamalek, Hussein Al-Shahat of Egypt, and of course, Rowan Williams' name keeps appearing. The South African goalkeeper, the famed penalty goal. I mean, spot kick saver, Rowan Williams. All right. So these are the categories that you need to look out for, and I guess we're done with this list of players. Austin, let me come to you. I don't know where you want to start, but that goalkeeper intrigues me. And it intrigues me because you said something a while ago. We had this debate, and you were rooting for Andre Onana, and it made us argue. What are we looking at? Is it what you have done for your country, what you have done for your club? And I mean, probably CAF needs to really explain that to us. You also have the goalkeeper, the AFCON winning goalkeeper in that mix. You also have a goalkeeper that did well for AFCON. That surely will divide opinion.
A lot of question marks, and I mean, my views with awards. I always say professional players, they know what they need to do, and everyone is deserving of any type of nomination. But CAF every year just gives us reasons to ask questions. For instance, no disrespect, I love Rowan Williams. I've always bigged him up and his performances. I think he's a charismatic leader. I think he's talented. He's just a cool, calm guy. But he's got 3 nominations. He's in the Player of the Year shortlist, Interclub, and Goalkeeper of the Year. And then you omit Stanley Wabali. It's very difficult. Even if it's Goalkeeper of the Year, you put in Stanley Wabali. But it's nothing CAF is going to tell me. They just struck him off. A goalkeeper that did so well, made it to the final, is a regular in his club right there in South Africa, influential, and he cannot make the final short list. Now, the update is that CAF will not cut down the 5 players from the men's shortlisted. Now, they've left it that way. Yes, to say, certain names made it to the final shortlist. But I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do with this men's player of the year, because it's as clear as daytime. There's nothing you can do. If you like, leave it at 10. The fact that you know is outstanding, let it happen. CAF should, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to come here and make people say, Austin, you're accusing us of not being transparent. But it's just so difficult. If I work with CAF PR, it will be so difficult to defend why Stanley Wabali, even if he's not going to win it, why is he not shortlisted for the Goalkeeper of the Year award? It's difficult. Coach of the Year award, no Jose Pizarro. You just can't explain these things, I know people say, it's not that is awards and none of that. No, you are coming for a particular group, and we sense it, we see it. So we're going to talk about it, the Confederation of African Football. So let's wait to see all of these shenanigans that they want to do with this 5-man shortlist for the Men's Player of the Year. Shout out to Chiamaka Nadozie, which she doesn't win. I think just being shortlisted is good for her and her career. Shout out to Barbara Banda. I said it on this show that with what she has done, she's beyond just playing football. She's a role model for women's football in Africa. But yes, if there's anything I don't agree with, Goalkeeper of the Year, final shortlist for the men, and Coach of the Year.
Quick one, before I allow Bolu to say something. Would you have taken out Andre Onana? That's what I want to get you on, because I know you're a big fan.
I think I will keep Andre Onana. I'll keep Andre Onana on the bounce of what happened last season with Manchester United. Remember, on this show, I told you that everything that was happening with Ten Hag, he went home with a trophy. And despite all the struggles Manchester United went through, it was Andre Onana that was there. And I think also CAF, I think what CAF does is they are looking at role models. They are trying to tailor this award like the FIFA best. They are looking at people who can easily push the CAF tractions, who can easily sell African football. But Andre Onana, not because I like him, I think he's an influential footballer for Africa. I'll put Stanley Wabali. I'm making a 4-man shortlist here.
Okay, Bolu. in 2 or 3 minutes, if hypothetical, if Ademola Lookman doesn't win.
Marrakesh will go.
You know what I remember? 1998, Mustafa Hadji goes to the Nations Cup, scores a scissors kick. That's the only thing I remember. Then the award comes, everybody was expecting JJ Okocha, then he wins. So if that happens again, I'm already remembering that as a young lad, and I'm waiting for somebody to explain why that happened in 98. But are we talking this way because we're Nigerians?
Well, all the players that got nominated, all of them had 1 or 2 or 3 things. Either they played well at the AFCON, or they played well for the remainder of last season, or they have had a good start this season. Only one had the 3. Ademola Lookman was one of the best players at the last AFCON. He was in the team of the
let's even start by saying Hakimi didn't do well at the AFCON because Morocco didn't do well. So that exactly. Also counts against him.
Hakimi's own was post AFCON. He also won with PSG. Then the start of this season has been brilliant. Guirassy, start of this season at AFCON. So most of them were either 1 or 2. Ademola Lookman was brilliant at the AFCON. It was superb towards the end of the last season. We saw what he did with Atalanta in the final, what no other player has ever done in any European final before scoring a hat-trick. And the start of this season as well, he scored 11 goals with 5 assists in 18 games for them so far. So he's the only one amongst all the shortlisted players about 3 years. I think Hakimi had better chances last year with Osimhen than now. So brilliant nomination. Hakimi is for me one of the best right backs we have of it. But nobody last season, this season, AFCON should win it ahead of Ademola Lookman. And other nominations, picking even from the Nigerian angle, no need to repeat what Austin has said. Austin is 100% correct. One of the biggest shock for me was Rasheedat Ajibade not making the final. I was shocked because among all the players, I've heard all the talks of looking at players off the field. I don't care what you do with your life off the field. You are a footballer. The best player on the pitch is the best player on the pitch. I won't call Yemi the best presenter because he's a lover boy outside the studio. I don't care what you do off the field. It is your job on the field of play. Rasheedat Ajibade won Player of the Month for country, for club, won Player of the Month for the league, and she had a brilliant season. She's not here. I was shocked. Among all these ones, I wouldn't mind if Nadozie wins for a change. But I think she has locked down the goalkeeper of the year. And I agree a bit with what Austin is saying with agenda for the nominations. Rowan Williams is no way, he's not even the best keeper in Africa.
To start with.
Nominating him for best keeper, inter-club and everything, I think he automatically wins the best keeper. I even have no problem with that one, even though I don't think he is.
All right.
But the player of the year, top 5, no way in hell.
All right, we don't have to wait much. December 16, we'll know. But I don't think anything's going to happen in Marrakesh if Lookman doesn't win. All right, let's move to Austin now. Europa League match is currently going on. What can you tell us before we take reactions from yesterday's matches in the Champions League?
Yeah, the Europa League, it comes when it comes with a rush, so loads of games going on, full-time, offer 9, playing goalless in that one at home. Ludogorets and AZ Alkmaar, that game has also ended 2-2. Malmo and Galatasaray also finished 2-2. The game between Olympiacos and FC 20 ended goalless. It was a rush, beating Ferencváros 5-0. Roma tutored SC Braga 3-0. The game between Union Saint-Gilloise and Nice ended 2-1. Manchester United, under new manager Ruben Amorim, seem to be getting it here and there. They're trying to get it right. Good win for them away from home. They defeated Victoria Plzen by 2-1. The game between Ajax and Lazio, it's in its 40th minute, and it's Lazio 1, Ajax 0. Loads of games. I see Bodo Glimt and Besiktas playing 1-1. The game is in its 41st minute. FC Porto 1, FC Midtjylland 0. So much going on in our action-packed auto sports. Is Real Sociedad 3, Dynamo Kiev 0, and the Slava Prague struggling, trailing at home to Anderlecht by 2-0 here.
All right. Okay, so that's what's happening in the Europa League. Let's spend the few minutes we have left to talk about the UEFA Champions League. And we'll have only time for one club, Manchester City. Pep Guardiola scratching his head, looking frustrated, looking dejected. Bolu said he's now taking what he has been serving people and it's not easy. It's not easy. He's used to winning, but now he's losing. A very bad spell for Pep Guardiola. Let's quickly listen to Pep Guardiola, what he has to say. We'll come back to wrap things up on the show.
We missed the last pass when arriving in the 6-yard box and a penalty spot many times, and have the composure or especially shoot or make the good movement and assist. So that was the difference today, but we are the best. I love my team, the way we play, and the result is not going to convince me the opposite. Really good. And of course I question myself in the good moments and the bad moments. I was stable in the good moments and I'm stable in the bad moments. Of course I try to find a way and do it, but the game was there. So and that is not, I'm incredibly honest about knowing when we don't play good or don't play good. Always the game will save us for the results. The confidence give us results, give us a good boost, and okay, we can do it. But
somebody told me there's a difference between being humble and being humbled. I think Pep Guardiola has been humbled, but there are still things he could do, I think.
The form and everything, they can still pick up. It may be too late for the league, but they say have
the
maybe
cup
the
competitions.
Carabao Cup and everything. The truth is, you will always have a dip in form. No matter how bad, no matter how great you are, your time to drop will come. I remember between 03 and 06, both the great Real Madrid, the Galacticos, and United under Fergie went 3 years trophyless. Nobody died, nothing happened. They picked themselves up. Both of them incidentally won the league the following year. There will be a period where it feels like all things are not working, but he needs to find a way. It's more psychological than what we are saying. I remember when Real Madrid won Champions League 2 years ago, they asked Fergie about it. They said, that's why I'm winning 15. I want to help them win 15. When they won the Champions League this year, they asked him again, have you gotten to your... He said, no, some places...
But let me butt in because of time. Let me butt in quickly as we settle this and go. He's likely going to stay. What do you think he needs to do? Does he perform a surgery on this team, let some people go, bring in some, or he can still get this team to win?
Well, with a year left of extension till one more season, I think we may not need to do all that. Just keep the players you know. Maybe add 1 or 2, do your 1 more year, then go. Leave the clearance sale to whoever comes after. I think it's the man coming after Pep. I really pity for Manchester City.
That's a job to do. All right. Austin, your thoughts? All the talks, all the philosophy, everything does seem to disappear. He's explaining. A lot of people are enjoying his pain, by the way.
just bring a bit of pigeon into it. Go explain, tire, no evidence. You know, because that's what it is. It's just humbling what's happening to Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Just 1 win in 10 matches. Across the big 5 leagues in Europe, Manchester United have conceded the most goals, 23 in 10 games. You know, those are stats that you don't want to attribute to Manchester City. And those charges are still waiting. In fact, it has been increased. So we're waiting for the verdict. These are just times where you look at it and say, things are falling apart for Manchester City. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap here in Lagos. I want to thank Bolu Omoni for his time on the show today.
It was a pleasure.
All right, that's the show. We thank you for making us a part of your day. We'll be here again tomorrow. I'm Mimi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.